You know, back in 1863, Jules Verne did something truly incredible. He looked at all these grueling, dangerous, multi-year expeditions into Africa, and he condensed them into one single, breathtaking journey. But he didn't just write an adventure story. No, he basically invented a new genre, one that blended real science, careful geography, and just boundless imagination. So let's dive into the novel that really kicked it all off, 5 Weeks in a Balloon. Just imagine opening your morning paper in London and reading that. This single sentence printed in the Daily Telegraph was the talk of the town. An entire continent, this place of mystery that had claimed the lives of so many explorers, was going to be crossed in a balloon? I mean, it was audacious, it was completely unprecedented, and for most people, it sounded absolutely impossible. So the setting for this incredible announcement was the Royal Geographical Society, and you can just feel the electricity in the room. See, this wasn't just some sightseeing trip, it was a real mission. The goal was to link together all the scattered discoveries made by explorers on the ground to finally create the first complete picture of the heart of Africa. It was, as one person there put it, one of the most daring conceptions of human genius. And the man behind this genius idea? Well, that would be Dr. Samuel Ferguson. Now, he's not your typical swashbuckling hero. Verne describes him as a man of about 40, with this incredible calm and gravity about him. He's a man of science, a fatalist who believes he's simply following a path that was laid out for him, one that predestined him to accomplish great discoveries. That phrase just perfectly captures his quiet, unshakable confidence. Of course, every visionary needs a pragmatist, right? Someone to keep them grounded. And for Ferguson, that's his best friend, Dick Kennedy. He's this world-class hunter who reads the news, and his first reaction is to call his friend a lunatic. And his reaction is really our reaction. He's the voice of reason, constantly pointing out all the risks and the sheer impossibility of it all. He thinks the whole thing is insane, but his loyalty is so strong, there's just no way he's letting his friend go alone. And rounding out our trio is Joe, Ferguson's totally devoted servant. If Ferguson is the brain and Kennedy is the muscle, then Joe is the heart of the expedition. He's got this charming turn of optimism, and to him, everything just seems logical and simple. He's the ultimate yes man, but he also has these incredible skills, like eyesight so sharp he can supposedly see the moons of Jupiter with his naked eye. His faith in his master just never, ever wavers. Now here's what's so cool. This wasn't just some flight of fancy. Verne made sure to ground his adventure in the real science of the day. Dr. Ferguson didn't just pump up a balloon and hope for the best. No, he calculated everything down to the last pound. From the weight of the crew, to the food, the water, even the brandy, it all had to add up to exactly 4,000 pounds. It's this kind of meticulous detail that made the impossible seem totally plausible to his readers. So the plan is set, the crew is assembled, even if one of them is a bit reluctant, and the whole expedition moves from London to the island of Zanzibar. This is the launching point for their incredible journey. Now, all that theory is about to become reality. With a huge crowd of sailors cheering them on and cannons from the ship Resolute firing a salute, Dr. Ferguson christens their amazing vessel. And as the ropes are cut, the Victoria just shoots up into the sky, leaving the world they know behind and rising into the vast, uncharted African sky. And just like that, the great voyage has begun. But wait, how could they possibly control their altitude for weeks? I mean, you throw out ballast to go up, and you release gas to go down, but you can only do that so many times. Well, this is where Verne introduces Ferguson's secret weapon. It's this ingenious, and totally fictional, of course, device. It uses a battery to heat hydrogen gas in a spiral pipe. The gas expands, and the balloon rises. When it cools, the gas contracts, and the balloon comes down. It's a brilliant bit of science fiction that solves the single biggest problem of long-distance ballooning. Okay, so now they can control their altitude. They're free to just drift across the continent. But their journey becomes this constant pendulum, swinging back and forth between breathtaking wonder and mortal danger. They are seeing a world that no European had ever witnessed from this perspective. And right away, the journey tests their limits. I mean, they face everything the continent can possibly throw at them. There are violent electrical storms that threaten to ignite the hydrogen in their balloon, warring armies clashing right below them, a thirst so bad it nearly kills them in the Sahara, not to mention countless encounters with local tribes who are by turns hostile, curious, or sometimes even worshipful. One of the most dramatic moments has to be the rescue of a French missionary. They spot him about to be executed, and Ferguson pilots the Victoria down low right into the chaos. With guns firing, Loyal Joe slides down a rope, cuts the man free, and they haul him aboard, just vanishing back into the sky. It's this incredibly heroic scene that perfectly shows off the unique advantages of traveling by balloon. But not all their encounters are so violent. In one really memorable stop, the local people are completely convinced that the Victoria is the moon itself, and that our three travelers are her children, the sons of the moon. Ferguson, who's always thinking on his feet, just plays along, declaring that the moon visits her worshippers once every 1,000 years. It's this surreal, kind of funny moment where they have to pretend to be gods just to survive. But their greatest trial, by far, is crossing the Sahara. The suffering is just immense. The book describes them gnawing on their fists in delirium, with all hope completely gone. The moment they spot that single palm tree in the distance, marking an oasis, is one of the most suspenseful and relieving parts of the whole story. It's a stark reminder of just how fragile their existence up there really is. So after surviving the desert and a ton of other dangers, the explorers finally complete their journey across the continent. But the story's impact goes way beyond just their fictional trip. Let's take a look at what Verne was really doing with this novel. This really gets to the heart of Verne's genius. He didn't just make up a story out of thin air. He devoured all the real, harrowing travel journals from explorers like Burton and Speke. He saw that their discoveries were all fragmented, like pieces of a puzzle. So he imagined a piece of technology, the balloon, that could fly over it all and unite their findings into one grand, sweeping story. He turned years of suffering on the ground into a thrilling, seamless adventure in the sky. Throughout the journey, Dr. Ferguson is always thinking about the future. And this quote really captures the common 19th century European view of progress and, frankly, colonialism. It's this vision of Africa as a future continent just filled with immense resources, waiting to be opened up by industry and technology. It's a fascinating, if pretty dated, glimpse into the mindset of that era. And the public? They absolutely devoured it. This number, 377,000, is just staggering for the time. When the Daily Telegraph published a summary and a sketch of the journey, that's how many copies it printed. Verne had tapped into this deep public fascination with exploration, with science, and with the thrill of the unknown. He became a sensation almost overnight. The novel ends right where it began, in London. Ferguson, Kennedy, and Joe are welcomed home as heroes. The Royal Geographical Society awards them the gold medal, which kind of cements their fictional triumph in the real world. For the readers, it was the perfect, satisfying end to an absolutely epic adventure. So in the end, 5 Weeks in a Balloon is so much more than just a thrilling story. It basically established the formula that Verne would perfect over his career, a formula that would influence generations of writers and dreamers. It showed us that the greatest adventures often live at that intersection of what's real and what's possible, which kind of makes you wonder, right? When we dream about colonizing Mars or exploring the deepest parts of the ocean, how much of that dream was first sparked by a fantastic journey in a balloon more than a century ago?